What?
We are live on Rockin with Rahul and the Three Amigos. We got a special guest. He's famous in all of Philadelphia, local area. We got the Philly sports guy. Uh, please, please give a round of applause to Jamie.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on.
That's cool. That was cool. So when did this all begin? Your career as the Philly sports guy?
Well, I have been painting up for Eagles games for over 25 years.
Okay.
The first time I ever got painted up, I went to San Francisco with my brother, and we went to 3Com Park at the time, and we watched the Eagles go up against the 49ers, and unfortunately, we lost that game. That was the game where Terrell Owens was still a 49er, and I think he had like a 99-yard touchdown in that game, and we lost that game. But that was the first time I had ever gotten painted up. And over the years, it's just grown and grown. And 7 years ago, I went to the Eagles Saints playoff game. Everyone remembers that one because Alshon Jeffrey dropped the ball went through his hands, and they had an interception. And
Yes.
but the Fox broadcast put me on television a lot, and I was contacted by a production studio who asked me to come in to do a commercial for them. And when I did that commercial, they were like, wow, your energy is amazing. You're like the Philly sports guy. You should see if that name's available. And it was. And it's, they started to teach me how to do social media, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's cool. That's cool. But what is your favorite recollection through the years of being a Philly sports guy? What sticks out the most?
Well, the championships do. I was at the World Series in Game 5 when we beat Tampa Bay to win the World Series. And then I was also at Super Bowl 59. When we when we destroyed the Chiefs. And so those two stand out the most. I will say that there's been a lot of fun games that I've gone to along the way. There's also been a lot of heartache along the way.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're a Phillies fan, you're born with heartache. The Phillies break our hearts every year.
Did you go to the first Eagles Super Bowl?
I did not. So I remember in 1980, I remember watching on television, and watching that game was not fun.
No,
and then in 2004 against the Patriots, that was a tough one to watch.
Basil?
But
hey, Will, sorry, is Bravo on yet?
Yeah, he is.
Jamie's talking.
I'm on right now.
Yeah. All right.
Seriously, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Ron. It's okay. No worries.
Bye.
Okay. Excuse us, Jamie. Go ahead.
That's okay. Technical difficulties happen on all podcasts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, our one co-host Basil's running late.
Understood. But so in Super Bowl 52, I spent over at my brother's house.
Okay. Well, when did you started this thing? The Philly sports guy. When did you start this?
That's what I want to know too.
He just told me 25 years ago.
So 25 years ago, I started painting my face. I literally became the Philly sports guy. Was really the first season was in like 2019, where I was starting to do social media, and that's where I kind of like the Philly sports guy became a thing.
Okay.
Before it was just I was getting painted up and doing, just going to games and such. I started to actually make it a brand starting in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got that, William? Raul?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got
2019.
Janie. I have a question for you. What was it like growing up in Delaware State? I heard you grew up in Delaware.
So I grew up in Delaware County.
Count.
I went to school in Delaware. There was a
DC.
private school that I went to called Archmere. So I went to high school in Delaware, but I didn't. I grew up right on the border. So Delaware has always been, uh, you know, local to me, and also it was also the place where uh, the production studio was that I became the Philly sports guy in. So it's if you ask where the home base of the Philly sports guy is, I would have to say that it's in Wilmington, Delaware.
There you go.
So it's a great studio down there called King Creative, who has helped me tremendously. To be the Philly sports guy isn't just a one-man job. It requires a team behind me, because you need to be able to not just get into the games, but you also have to have the cameras going and get other people involved, because once we have the content, we have to get it onto social media, and it requires a lot of people, and there's a number of moving parts.
It's a lot of work. I'm sure it's a lot of work to do that.
Janie, have you ever
Especially-
been to a sports store called Carl's Cars Collectibles in Haverford, Delaware County?
Absolutely. I knew Carl pretty well. Unfortunately, he's passed on now. It's just recently, but
Yeah,
he was an amazing guy, and was able to do like and not just was he uh, you know a fan of collectibles and collecting different memorabilia. He was just a great fan in general. He was somebody who loved sports.
yeah. I met his daughter. She was taking over the business now. I met her on Saturday. It was my first time there. I liked it. That's where I met former MLB player Richie Hemler.
Yep.
Richie Hebner?
Yeah, do you
For
know
the
who
Phillies,
do you
too.
remember watching him back in the day, Charlie? I met him in
Yeah,
person. I got a picture with
absolutely.
him.
Richie Hebner, yeah. He played for the
Yeah,
Phillies.
he signed my Phillies chain.
He's on your Phillies chain. There
Yeah,
you
he
go.
signed my name on my Phillies chain on
There you
Saturday.
go, man.
Yeah, I gave him our business card for our show if he wants to be on our show, hopefully.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You
Jamie,
hear all that excitement, Jamie?
I do. And that was the great thing about Carl. Like Carl he did a podcast that would happen at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and he used to do it like once a month or maybe twice a month. And he had the last one I went to of his, he had Bill Berge on,
Oh, wow.
and I got to tell a story that. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I went to an Eagles practice, and they used to have the Eagles practice at Widener University, which is right down the street from me. And my grandmother, before I went to that practice, my grandmother told me, when you see Bill Berge, tell him I said hello, that Louise, which was my grandmother's name, says hi, and to give him a big hug for me. Well, as a 6-year-old kid, I didn't know any better. And as the Eagles were coming off the field, I go to try to find him, and I go to stand out in the middle of where they're coming off the field and almost get trampled on. So one of the teachers grabbed me and pulled me aside to make sure I didn't get run over. Never got to see Bill Berge there. So I never got to tell him that story. So now, fast forward 40 years later,
Right.
at 47, 48 years old, and I'm at a Carl's Cards, and he has Bill Berge there, and I got to tell that story and finally pass off the message that my grandmother said hello.
Did you hug him?
I did hug him. Yes, I
There you
did.
go.
And
There you get
we took a
everything.
picture.
He's a big man, Bill Berge.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's another one that passed on. He was doing pretty well for a little while, but unfortunately, he had passed on, I believe, about like 9 months ago to a year ago.
What, the head trauma? Or is that what you're talking
No,
about?
no, I think he was battling some cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
But
But he
yeah,
could
but Bill
hit.
Berge was a great guy.
He could hit. Man, oh man, Chevys could he hit?
Yes, he could.
And him and was it
James,
Walter and was it Bunning on the one side? Was it and Frank Walters on the other? Is that who it was?
Yet Frank Walters, I thought, was an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I'm. There was a Walter, last name Walter, who played linebacker, I believe. My
Okay.
name, it's kind of escaping me right now, but it'll come back.
Jamie, do you do you sometimes see Sean Young, since he does stuff like you all the time?
Yeah, Sean Young is a fantastic fan. He's been doing it forever, and I will say that when I first got started doing this like full time, I reached out to him and kind of told him. I said that it was some of what he did kind of set the groundwork on how I was able to become a fan. So kind of watching him over the years, when I would do this, when I started off, I wouldn't do it at home games. I would only do it at away games because that was Sean's. Sean's was like the home guy. And then he retired a little bit ago. And then, you know what, just like anything else, you can't retire from being a fan. It's just like there's no such thing as retirement from liking a team. So it's good to actually see him out there and having his shoulder pads on and being with the people out there. It's a great thing. I feel like everybody could be like a super fan and get all dressed up and do that. That there's plenty of room for the crazy fans out there in Philly.
Well, it's one day a week where guys get to be guys and do things like that, and they don't have to worry about being silly because everybody in that stadium is silly. So,
Yeah.
But
right,
that's
Jamie?
exactly correct. That's exactly correct. We are all there for one purpose, and that is to root on our Eagles. And
Let's go Birds.
exactly, win or lose, I'm still going to love my team, and that's what Sundays are all about during the fall and the winter time, all the way up until we win the Super Bowl or we get knocked out of the playoffs, and then I don't really care who wins the Super Bowl.
I heard that new offensive coordinator they started OTAs today, and he was they were talking about the offense, how he's got people moving, he's got different formations, getting around. I mean, yeah, it's time that they came into the 21st century with their offense, because the option and pass, that kind of lasted until people figured it out. Just they dropped their linebackers, you can't run that play. So they I like the idea that they're working on that, switching up, running their own offense now. This new offensive coordinator's offense, and bringing some pep in their step, and make things exciting for everybody that's down at the stadium and everybody that's watching the game at home.
Agreed. I feel like that it was very vanilla last year, and almost maybe too vanilla, where everybody was able to figure out our offense and be able to defend against it. This year, I feel that our offensive coordinator is going to make it look a lot different than it did in previous years.
Yeah, he's going to have that 2 tight end sets, I'm sure. He's going to run trips. He's going to run motion. He's going to send the running back. He's going to chip, and then he's going to go out into the flat from the throw of the ball while everybody else is downfield or running ins or drags, whatever you want to call them. Yeah,
right.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to the offense, to watching the offense play. Because unfortunately, when I watch a football game, I root for the offenses. So whoever's on offense, I root for them. Because I was a line coach, and I did all that, and so I root for the offense. I know how difficult that is in putting it together and getting everybody working on the same page.
Jamie, our other co-host Basil, he has a question for you.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Sorry for my lateness.
No worries, Basil.
Hey, Basil.
You're fine.
Hey, Jamie, I recognize you. You're the Philly sports guy, aren't you?
That is correct. Even without the makeup.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on the show.
Jigs up, man.
Jane, I was hoping for that you were gonna have your makeup on tonight. Honestly, your face painted.
Yeah, I apologize. It's when I take a couple of days off, it's kind of important. I'm going to be painted up for the next like 4 or 5 days in a row. So it's, to put on the paint every day starts to get a little, I need to have my skin breathe a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before you go to games and all, what time do you start putting on the paint on your face, and what time do you start putting the paint on your face?
He starts doing it on Thursday.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels that way. So like for a normal 1 o'clock game, I will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and
God bless you.
and start doing the paint. It takes me about an hour to do. If it's like a 4 o'clock or even an 8 o'clock game, I'll start somewhere around 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like I try to get down there and spend like 6 hours before game time. Any game that we were there for, so it doesn't matter. And then when I'm away, I definitely do the same thing. It takes me an hour to get ready, so I get up really early in the morning, and then I go walking around, making fun of some of the other fans, like the opposing team's fans, so that we can, make it interesting, like for content and such. I'm not beating anybody up or talking mean to anybody. I enjoy the banter of talking to opposing fans, and they like taking pictures with me and such. So I take a lot of pictures on game
I'm sure
day.
you do. Yeah. 6 hours before game time. That's now when you arrive at the stadiums that early, who do you see there? Who do you meet? Is there anybody that you talk to or on a regular basis, or?
So I typically like to just go catch up with all the fans. So there's a number of different tailgates that I will hit. Yeah, one is like the Hungry Dogs. I'll go talk to Ed Callahan from the Eagles Mobile. That's over in Lot E. I'll go see a couple of different tailgates, and I just stop by, like I said, the Hungry Dogs, or then I'll go to Philly Sports Trips. I'll stop through Stateside Live to talk to some of the people there. I catch up with all of the different ushers and such before they go into work, just to say hello and get them just as excited as everything else. And then like it says, when you're walking around the lots, everybody wants to take a picture. So
and 6 hours must go fast.
it does.
going from I didn't think of the partiers outside in the parking lot.
Right. Well,
But
and the
that's
truth of the matter is that every time I go somewhere, it takes a long time because I stop to take pictures with everybody.
right,
So just going from, uh, you know, like where the Wells Fargo Center is, or now Xfinity Mobile Arena, to get over to the link takes about an hour walking because I stop to take pictures with everybody. And
right.
that's because it's not about me, it's about them and the fact that they are excited to see me and take pictures. That's what I want to share with the people. It's not, it's like it's if they didn't like it, it wouldn't be a thing. And
That
that's
must be
what
very
makes
gratifying. That
It-
must be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That must be very gratifying and make you feel good to go around and be able to chat up with all these people and find out what's going on. And everybody wants you. They all want to take a picture with you. I mean, that to me is I would say that's pretty damn good. I
And
mean,
it's a humbling experience. It really is because, like I said, if they didn't like it, it wouldn't be a thing. So
right,
it's not a matter of that's why I can't turn anybody down from a picture because ultimately it's like I said, it's the 30 seconds that I may not remember that
right,
person may never forget. And
exactly.
that's it that it's those moments in time that make it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I met Jamie a couple of times at the sports game, and I love taking pictures, and I love seeing your awesome enthusiasm you have for sports and taking pictures with the fans and all.
and with
Uh,
especially with the younger kids. And Janie,
Yes.
uh, how do you feel about the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs so far?
So, well, I obviously I'm upset that the Flyers aren't in it and the Sixers aren't in it. That being said, I am I am more engaged in the hockey playoffs than I have been in previous years, mostly because the Flyers were in it for a little while.
Yeah.
And I like watching hockey, and playoff hockey is really so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah, there's nothing better than playoff hockey.
I agree. And basketball is a little different for me. I was really frustrated with the Sixers and how they ended their season against the Knicks. I will tell you that although I'm not a Knicks fan, I am rooting for them to beat whoever comes out of the West,
Uh, uh,
whether it's OKC or the Spurs. I would rather see the Knicks win than either one of those teams.
how do you feel about the Knicks making it to the NBA playoffs for the first time in 27 years since they last did it in 1999?
I, congratulations to them. They've really been playing well as a team. And these guys are all the Villanova guys. So, I mean, even though they wear the Knicks uniform, and like I said, I am not a fan of the Knicks. I'm not a New York fan
Yeah,
for any
we're
reason.
not Knicks fans either, so we understand.
But they are Villanova boys, and
Uh,
I would rather watch the Villanova guys win the championship, even in a New York's jersey, than I would see with Wemby or SGA in OKC. Uh, they are going to have their time, but the Knicks. It's been a long time for the Knicks, and I hope they don't burn the city down if they win.
uh,
I remember the Knicks when Jerry Lucas and Bill Bradley were playing for them. That was a hell of a team they had.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But I remember watching that playoff series and Jerry Lucas like just going to town playing his game. And then in the last game, what the heck was his name? I remember Jerry Lucas. But anyhow, the guy who was the starting center came in for the seventh game, I think it was, and to pick the rest of the team up because he was really hurt. And They won. They won a championship that year. So that was the one year that I rooted for the Knicks.
There you go. And that was what, 1971.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wasn't even born yet.
It was 115 years ago. I just come in from the prairie, and we
The,
built up Philadelphia in 2 minutes.
Janie.
Jamie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, William.
So, what I was gonna ask?
Do you think Embiid will be back next year?
Well, I don't think that they're going to be able to trade him anywhere. I would. As far as Embiid goes, he's such a good talent. And he's got such a heavy duty contract. I can't see the Sixers being able to move him. However, if there was a place that he could possibly go, depending on what the Lakers are going to do with LeBron, I could see a possible trade to the Lakers.
What did you think of the Sixers firing Daryl Morey?
It was about time.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
I was very frustrated. I have been, I'm going to always root on the team. And this is not the team's fault. But I am not super excited about ownership. I feel that ownership has created a culture that is not Philadelphia. And I would prefer there to be more Philly in the organization as a whole. The problem is that this, they own, not only do they own the Sixers, but they also own the New Jersey Devils. They also own the Washington Commanders. And it's, when you are a corporation who owns sports teams rather than, actually trying to put a good product out on the field or on the court, you start to run into certain issues. And that's what's some of the problem I have with ownership.
Yeah,
well,
even I have problem with the ownership, and because he's buying too much teams, and
They
plus,
bought way too much.
in about a couple of years, he's gonna have a woman WNBA team in Philadelphia, and he's gonna be owner of that. So,
Well,
need,
I don't mind that. First off, I feel like Philadelphia, it's long overdue that Philadelphia should have a woman basketball team. The fact that they don't have one up to this point is really more a problem. I feel like that we should have been one of the first, with as big of a sports town as we are in Philadelphia, that we should have had a women's sports team here sooner than this.
Yeah,
they just needed the NBA to get behind them, and the Sixers, the owner of the Sixers, saying going to own them, get behind them. But what I was going to say is, first of all, corporations, they're all about the bottom line. Don't let anybody fool you to tell you anything different, because they're corporations. They're a business. They're about the bottom line. If they can do what they have to do to make money, and if they can move one guy and pick up somebody else to bring them in that people like or whatever, people will want to see this guy. If Embiid stays with them, I just don't know if they're ever capable of winning a championship with him, because first of all, he's got physical problems. His feet are bad, and for a basketball player who's on their feet the whole time they're playing, that's got to be trouble. And Paul George, they weren't going to play back-to-back games. If you're going to play basketball, if when we were kids and they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" and I said, "I want to play in the major leagues. I want to play for the Phillies or whatever," that's a dream kids have, that they're going to do that. But the fact that we grow up and most of us never make it even anywhere, we still retain that pride and that love for that team that we had from the time we were little kids. And I think the basketball fans in Philadelphia, they need somebody that's going to be, like you said, all out for Philadelphia, not a friggin' corporation that's just looking for the bottom line, who they can move, what they can do, because the players aren't players to them. They're just pawns, moving them around. So until they get somebody in there that's, like you said, the Philadelphia person, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't know. You tell me. Are the Sixers going to be a product that we can be proud of in Philadelphia?
Probably in the next couple of years, if we build a team around Maxey and Edgecombe.
Edgecombe's
And-
not that great in my opinion. I mean, he showed talent. He showed talent. We have to maybe stick with him another year or two. What's his contract, Edgecombe?
Well, he's still under the rookie contract, so he's going to have plenty of time.
He'll
But
develop.
But there is a lot that's. I mean, listen. As far as this team goes, I feel like that there were a lot of questionable decisions that were made through Maury and the way that this organization has been run is in total. I felt that like when they were talking about having the stadium be in Center City, I thought that that was a ruse. I told everybody that anybody would ever ask me, when are they going to break ground on that stadium? I says that stadium will never happen. There's no way that they're going to build a stadium down there. And unfortunately, I was right. And I feel like that this ownership played a little bit of the Norman Brayman card. And I will say that I'm sure that, that
I know who you're talking about.
I was going to say Charles knows exactly who I'm talking about. He held the city at ransom for with the Eagles. And
Yeah.
I felt that that's what the Harris Group also did. They were holding the city hostage for their basketball team until and crying about the fact that we want a new stadium. Wow, 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 wow. Well, now he's got a new stadium. They never moved an inch, really. They're building a new stadium now, and all of that just because, like I said, it's stuff like that that really bothers me because the fan is not anybody. They don't win in that situation. It's only the billionaires that win in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Like we were just saying, as far and Basil brought Raul brought this up. As long as somebody is allowed to have multiple ownerships of professional teams, they have to prove that they are behind each one of those teams, which they're not going to be because it's a corporation. But I mean, until that happens, they are going to hold the city at ransom for more time to come. I mean, look how long the Eagles held the city at ransom. I mean, when I was a little kid, the Packers won in 1960. The Eagles lost to Oakland in 1980. And in those 12 years, especially during the 60s, they were horrible, absolutely horrible. Every season they had a new quarterback, John Reeves, Pete Liskey, all these other guys, and none of them was worth crap. Instead of going out and getting a quarterback, a real quarterback that can do things on a professional level, they could bring people in from the Canadian League and all that. But I'm just using that as an example. I mean, when somebody really doesn't care whether the team does good or not, and I don't mean that.
And plus,
Wow.
if I'm the Sixers ownership, instead of searching for other GM, I would make Bob Myers the GM because Bob Myers he won a couple of championship with Golden State, and he's the one that orchestrated the Golden State dynasty. So I would rather have Bob Myers run the whole show for the 76ers.
That would be great, but I don't suspect that the Harris Group is going to spend that type of money.
Nope.
Well, we just have to wait and see to find out for next season.
Well, they're already
Absolutely.
telling you now it's the off season for the Sixers. They're done. And have they done anything? Have they said anything? Have they even leaked stuff that they wanted to do? No. They're just going to play this on.
Well, right now they have to find somebody who's going to run their organization.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that's what they're looking for right now. So we'll see how that all plays out. But in the meantime, it's been, like I said, it's been frustrating to watch that when they get into the playoffs, they get out in the first round or the second round. I mean, it was great beating Boston, but Boston was ready to be beaten. That's like that. But to lose like we did to the Knicks and to quit in the clinching game and have more Knicks fans in the stadium or in the arena than Sixers fans, to the tune of like 60% Knicks fans to 40% Sixers fans. That just tells me that the people that own the tickets for the Sixers are brokers and corporations. They're not fans.
Right.
Even that
That's
that
right. And they
happened.
put all that money on the Knicks as well.
That happened in Cleveland also. Like during the Cleveland clincher, there was more Knicks fans than Cleveland fans.
Right, because Cleveland knew they were done. It was and listen, Knicks fans do travel. They are a good traveling group. They want to be able to be a part of this. And let's face it, it's been a long time since they have had a chance to be in the championship. I mean, we're talking about 99 was the last time they won a championship in 1971. They actually have a good chance this year. So Knicks fans are going to be a part of what's going on and want to be a part of it.
Yeah. They want to be with their team. Like the Phillies fans, they move around with them from town to town and watch the games. Yeah. When there's 60% of the opposition in your own stadium than there are. That says that they just don't care. They just don't care, and it doesn't matter. And it's like it's sad because there's 4 guys right up there that I'm looking at, or 3 guys that I'm looking at, or whatever, 4 that are Sixers fans, and they root for them and they die with them, and it's a shame that the ownership and the people that are running the club don't take more, something more like that.
More responsibility for the product that they are putting out on the court.
Absolutely.
And Jamie, what do you think about the Phillies? I know the Phillies are like one and a half games for the wild card spot, and they are like 8 games behind the Braves. So, what do you think about the Phillies and how they turn things around? And Don Mattingly is the coach. And what do you think about Don Mattingly?
Yeah,
I think the Phillies are right now. The Phillies are still the Phillies, and I would love to say that I think that they're going to win the World Series. However, I do not think that right now. I think that they are still having certain issues, and the fact that we continue to run it back over and over again, thinking that we're going to get better, is not a good answer. I have a problem with our general manager. I think that this team wants to spend money to win. I think John Middleton wants to win. So that's not the issue here, different than the Sixers. I feel that the biggest problem is that Dombrowski continues to do the same things over and over again, and it doesn't equate to more wins. And the fact that we started off this season a little soft and we have to come back a little bit is okay. I don't mind that, because the truth of the matter is I don't care how we're playing right now. It matters how we're playing at the end of September and early October.
Yeah, it's too early now.
Yeah, I want us to be winning our games then. I don't care about winning games now.
Right.
That being said, we go out on this West Coast and you're going to see them win a lot of games against good teams. They just swept the Padres.
Right.
And you had Sanchez break a record, I think, that was over 100 years old with
Grover Cleveland Alexander. Yeah,
exactly. So Grover Cleveland Alexander, a guy who was named for a president.
Yes.
Of
the 19th century.
And there he's broken this record. And he's pitching.
Fantastic.
He's the best pitcher in baseball right at this moment. This moment.
Yeah. Well, last year at the end when they gave the Cy Young Award out, was it Paul Skeens? I thought that he got screwed last year because he had a fantastic year.
Yeah, but it was his first year getting his name in recognition, and that's baseball amongst everything else is weird with the way that they choose things. So he needed to have his name thrown in the mix. I knew he wasn't going to win because his name had never been in the mix before. Right. Yeah, it's the same thing with the Hall of Fame in baseball. I am not a fan of the Hall of Fame in baseball. I feel it's the Hall of somewhat good, that even Scott Rowland should never have been a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I'm glad that he is, kind of. The fact that he was in a Phillies uniform for a minute, but he was not Hall of Fame worthy. He's not that guy. There's so many better third basemen that I could think of instead of Scott Rowland. And the fact that they let him in and they still haven't let in Barry Bonds. You haven't seen,
Don Mattingly,
Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens, all this stuff. And they're going to say, oh, well, they did steroids. Well, you know what? Baseball made them do steroids because they're the ones that saved the game from being literally going into oblivion back in the day after they went on strike. So it's like, and all the writers want to be, more holier than thou. Well, I'm not a big fan of any of them. The fact, we're not going to vote for these guys because they cheated. They don't remember. They wouldn't have had jobs writing about baseball if it wasn't for the fact that these guys were doing steroids. And I tell you, I still have the newspaper from when Mark McGuire hit 3 home runs in Veterans Stadium, and I said he was going to hit me a home run baseball, and I went back to catch it. They got it on camera. It's a picture it was actually I think it was the Daily News, the Philadelphia Daily News, where I got up from my seat because he hit the ball so hard, and then it landed in my seat, and I'm sitting there with my glove going because I missed the ball. But the headline was Godzilla 3 because he hit 3 home runs that day.
Yeah. Well, that's what those home runs that were hit brought people back to the stadiums, right?
You remember Sosa and McGuire going back and forth. It was must-see television. They would stop broadcasts of television shows to watch the at-bats of Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. That was what brought baseball back. And the fact that these guys are not in the Hall of Fame because writers decided that they're going to play, judge and jury is ridiculous to me. And I will always talk bad about the Hall of Fame because it's not a Hall of Fame until you start to put these guys in.
Yeah, well, the coach, the manager of the Phillies, Don Mattingly, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He was a hell of a first baseman for the Yankees. I mean, and there's guys that have not made the Hall of Fame that should be in there. You know,
Agreed.
Chase Utley should be in the Hall of Fame. As far
Well,
as
he's going to probably make it. He's-
But in August, for a Phillies game on Friday, August 7th, he's gonna be conducted to the Hall of Fame, from what I
the
heard.
Phillies
Philadelphia.
Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll wind up getting voted in. He's got enough already that you could see the trajectory. He'll get voted into the Hall of Fame.
Are you gonna
I would hope Jimmy Rollins also does,
Oh yeah.
but I don't think he's got enough.
Is Ryan Howard in it already too?
No,
that
Ryan
right?
Howard,
Oh, I feel like he should be.
he should be, but he's not going to get the votes. He had probably the best 4 years ever of any baseball player to play the game, where he hit over 200 home runs in a 4 years time span. But that's not going to be enough for him to get into the Hall of Fame. He's only got that one MVP and one championship. Had the Phillies won a couple of championships, had they won in 2009 against the Yankees,
No, they
they
didn't.
would have. Or you think about that even in 2010, where we lost 1-0 in Game 5 to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals went on to win the World Series. Imagine had that, because that was Doc who gave up one bad pitch in that game, because he was going up against Carpenter, and it was a 1-0 game. In the first inning, gave one bad pitch, had that home run, and both of those guys went just about complete games,
Right.
and it stayed 1-0
They
that
went toe to
entire
toe.
game.
Yeah, and he could not. Yeah.
And
Were at that game, Jamie?
I was not at that game. I remember watching it on television, though. And I remember saying, because you think at the end of that game, that was when Ryan Howard also tore his Achilles. Yeah, running down the field, running down first base, and he tore his Achilles. He
was done.
3 steps in, and was out for like the whole next season.
Yeah.
My whole family was crying. We went to a wedding that night. We were watching it on the way back to the hotel in the Uber, and we were all crying when Howard went down. I remember that. It was terrible.
Yeah, and that was a tough one.
Jamie, what do you think? I know July 12th, 13th, and 14th, we are having the MLB All-Star back in Philly. What do you think about MLB All-Star coming back to Philly? And will you be at some of those events? Will you be at some of those events?
Yeah, will you be at both of them or one of them?
I hope to be at all of them. I want to do everything I can to be there. I would hope that the MLB would want me there. I go to a lot of Phillies games in general. I feel like I bring a lot to the crowd, and that's one of those situations where you would want us there. I feel a little conflicted, because as of right now, some of the ticket prices are really, really very high, and I feel that MLB is losing some of their fans due to being priced out. And when you start overpricing tickets and for the elite instead of the fans, you start to take away from the actual game itself. And baseball has been very big on that right now. And I feel that they are losing the kids. And that's where you have the biggest problem, because if the kids aren't engaged now, they're not going to be engaged later.
I remember going down the vet and watching the Phillies, me and my buddies, and we were in high school, and we would go down on the Broad Street subway, just walking to the vet, up all the way up into the 700 level, where you could do just about anything, and no one would even come up to check on you, except and it just was something. But the point I want to make is, you remember the vet? They had box seats. I mean, they really had box seats, and they were for all of those people, the elite, basically, who paid out a lot of bread to have that box seat for the season, so that they could use it or give it away to people that they were doing business with. Well, like
Right.
you're talking about, that's what's going on now. I mean, when it cost $1,000 to sit in the upper level at a World Series game, I mean, there's no way. I mean, Charlie McGrother at 16 couldn't get in there, but when they've only charged us $1 to get in there for the 700 level, I mean, that was great. I mean, all the kids.
They used to give out the tickets. If you remember, they used to give out the tickets at Philly's Franks, the
Yeah.
hot dogs. You get to buy a ticket. You'd get a free ticket with the purchase of one.
I was a paper boy, and we used to get, let's say, sell these 10 papers, and you can get a Phillies ticket. Well, those papers went their own way, but I got the ticket. I paid for that ticket, and
Right.
that was a big thing, going over there and getting on and going all the way down, and yeah. I mean, it was a big deal. We were kids; these were our heroes. We were coming down to watch them. And when you, like you said, when you price tickets so that only the adults can go, or they pay a lot of money, a premium, to bring their family down to watch the game. It's incredible. It's a lot of money.
You're starting to price out the fan, and
Yeah.
the fan's going to start to lose interest.
Me and Basil will be going for the future All-Star game on Sunday, July 12th, and I think after the future All-Star game, I think I heard Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, and Chase Utley will be there also. So I think they're having some kind of another event after the future All-Star game. So
That's going to be fun. That should be a good time.
Yeah, did you Raul, did you have to get tickets for that, or?
Basil got the tickets.
Oh
They
wow!
were $9 on TickPick, the app TickPick.
So it's just you and Raul going?
Yeah.
Well,
Unless you can climb in his back pocket and he can take you in.
Charlie, you should come also.
Yeah, I'll think about it. It all depends on how hot it is. My
That's
Irish white skin can't take that sun.
Raul, are they doing autograph signing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie, do you do autograph signing when?
I was just about to ask him the same question, Raul. Yeah, Jamie, do you autographs for kids? Because I saw a video that you were giving autographs to kids on the internet.
So the other day when the Phillies had their weather day, I knew that there was going to be a lot of kids in the stadium. So I went there and I was signing autographs for the kids and such like that. It's one of those things where I am humbled by the fact that they want my autograph, because I feel like anything that I'm signing, I'm actually taking away some of the value of the whatever it is that it's, that my signature makes it worth less. But it's the fact that they want my signature and that they want pictures with me is what really makes me excited about that. The fact that they go crazy and that they love it is what it's all about. It's not about, like I said, it's not about me. It's not about wanting the attention. I could care less about any of that.
Right.
I'm going to still root on my team the way that I root them on, whether I paint my face or I don't. It's for them. That they get to enjoy that, and they all are going to remember me signing their rally towels.
Absolutely.
Putting that in their room, and that's something that in 3 years, 4 years from now, somebody's going to come up to me and say, I still have the rally towel that you signed.
Right.
And that's going to mean more than anything to me.
Somewhere along the line, when those kids get older, they're going to find that rally towel and they're going to explain to their son or their daughter what was the meaning behind this. And basically, it was just football. It meant football and the people that loved it. Okay, I'm done talking.
Jamie, Raul, do you want me to go, or I just want to say something to Jamie? Hey, Jamie, can Can adults like us get your autograph too? I would love to have your autograph.
I am going, if you want my autograph, I'm going to give it to you. So
Uh,
it's anybody who asks me to sign something, I'm going to sign it.
oh, oh, eh, yeah.
I may
And
tell you that
I'm
it's not
sure.
going to
And
work
Raul, are you
much.
gonna get an autograph for your daughter as well from him?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, can I see you have a nice wall collection in the back? Can you show us some of those wall collection you
Yeah.
have in the back?
And so a lot of the things I have back there are, it's just more or less like posters and such. It's going to be a little hard to see, but I've got a couple of pictures. Uh, for instance, the one I'm going to see if I could kind of point it out to you guys. The one right there with the Philly Fanatic is when the Phillies won the NL, uh, won the National League in 22 and went up against the Astros for the World Series. The the owner, John Middleton, gave me the trophy as he was climbing over a fence, and somebody took a picture with me with the trophy, and that's that picture there. And then I've had a few people paint me and paint my likeness on a canvas
Cool. That's
and
way
have sent it to me. So I try to honor them by hanging it up in my living room just to kind of give and then I have a whole bunch of Eagles stuff all over the place, Flyer stuff, Sixers stuff. I have everything like all right here.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say to all the Philadelphia fans, and do you have a motivational quote for the viewers?
Do I have a motivational quote for the viewers? I'm a motivational guy. I definitely listen to motivation on a daily basis. It's one of those things where it's like, motivation is like coffee. You got to drink it every morning, to get yourself started. And that's one of the things that I am real big on. I will tell people all the time, just like it kind of be like Nike, you got to just do it. You got to take a part of these things. You have to be a part of it and get involved. If you want to do anything in life, you have to start just doing it. Doesn't matter whether you're good at it or bad at it. That's unimportant. Start doing it. You're going to get better. The longer that you do this and the more time you put into it, the better you're going to become. And that's what it's all about. It's not about the beginning. It's not about the end. It's about the journey on how you get there. And I would say that is the biggest motivational quote that I'm able to give anybody out there.
That's excellent, though. It's an excellent thing. Yeah.
And
Know what you're talking about.
And do you want to say anything to all the Philadelphia sports fans that support you and that are fans of you and fans of and diehard fans of Philly sports? What do you want to say to all of them?
Hey, listen, this was our first year, and I don't know how many years where all four teams made the playoffs. Our four majors made the playoffs. And if you really want to count it, our fifth major being the Union, they're not doing so well this year, but last year they also made the playoffs. So this was the first time in a very long time that all five teams made the playoffs. So it's good to be a Philadelphia sports fan right now. And it's not always about winning the championships. It's about some of the journey. And like I said, the same thing like I just talked about, like the Flyers being in the playoffs this year, even though they got swept by Carolina, that happened exactly as it's supposed to, because they would not have gotten that standing ovation from Carolina crowd had we won that game 4 and lost in game 5 down in Carolina. Carolina is a championship team. They had to learn about how to be a championship team. And that's why I'm glad that they did it here, because they played their butts off and we respected that and appreciated that.
Right, exactly.
So being a Philadelphia sports fan is a great time to be the fan, but you got to continue to be the fan. We're not worried about that. You don't need to boo. We don't need to be angry. We can be critical. We can definitely want a lot from our teams, and I definitely want my team to try harder than I'm rooting. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to be trying. I don't want to be trying harder than my team is. I
Yeah.
need my team to put forth the effort. But if they're putting forth the effort, I'm going to do everything I can on my side to cheer them on and will them to victory.
Who do
Yeah.
you think's gonna win the Stanley Cup this year?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say Carolina.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm
going to be a
thinking too.
tough series. That's going to be a
Rod
tough series.
Brindamore. Yeah, Rod Brindamore and the gentleman that coached the Flyers,
Rick Tocchet.
Rick Tocchet. Yes, they both played together with the Flyers. They both have the same attitude about. You look at their face, and that's all you need to know about. You just look at their face and say, "You played hockey in the NHL, didn't you?" Either that, or you got hit by a truck right in your face.
And Rod Brindamore, if he was able to play in those games, he'd be the best player on that ice.
Oh,
He
without a doubt.
he's probably the guy in best shape on that team right now, and he's the coach.
Yeah.
There's a viewer watching the show. He commented. His name is Steve the Legend. He commented saying, "Awesome interview."
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. William, can you do the closing statement?
Sure
Thanks,
thing. Sure
Jamie.
thing, Raul.
And,
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, Jamie, before we do the closing statement, do you want to join in this song? Fly, Eagle, fly on the road,
On the road to victory. Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown.
and 1,
1,
2, 3.
Hit them
hit 'em
low,
low,
hit them
hit 'em
high,
high, and watch our Eagles
Eagles
fly.
fly,
Eagles
fly.
fly
On the road to victory.
Yeah.
L-E-S,
Eagles.
Eagles.
And the schedule is out already for next season.
Absolutely. I will be at all the games except maybe Thanksgiving.
Christmas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's in Dallas.
Yeah, I may go. I'm not sure.
Plus, he's got a family and it's Thanksgiving, so
Are you going for the Christmas game?
It's Christmas Eve, and that's when I normally do all my Christmas shopping. So I'll have to do it a little early this year because I'm going to be at the stadium.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah,
a plan.
how many kids do you
It's
have?
Made a plan.
I have 2 kids. I have a boy who's 17, about to turn 18 in December, and a girl who just turned 16.
Oh, very good.
Congrats to them. And tell your girlfriend Jody we said hi, by the way.
Absolutely. She's been in and out. Just
Yeah, we've
checking
seen
up
her
to see-
going back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell her we all said hello.
Yeah, I talked to her earlier today on the phone and she called me.
Jamie,
awesome.
you could bring your 16-year-old to PennDOT to get her permit. I work at PennDOT.
Where?
My son's about to go take his driver's license examination here in a couple of days. So hopefully we're teaching him now how to parallel park.
Oh, that's the fun of living in Philadelphia and having a parallel park.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He lives in Philly.
You can bring them to King of Prussia PennDOT to get their permits and real IDs, and I could help you guys.
Perfect. I will definitely keep that in mind.
Well, has everybody has said what they want to say?
You just saw her, right?
There she was. She snuck by. Hello there.
William, can you do the closing statement now?
Sure thing. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Rockin' with Rahul and the Three Amigos. Please click and subscribe to our channel and to be sure to follow us on Instagram. Thank you and have a good night. See you all next week on our next episode.
Excellent.
Go Amigos. Let's go Amigos.
There you go.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jamie.
you, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you,
Philly,
Jamie, for coming on the
thank
show.
you,
Man.
Philly Sports Guy, for coming on the show tonight.
Yes.
I really appreciate you guys having me, and I'm glad we were finally able to get this worked out. We've been working on this for a while, so I'm
Yeah.
glad we were able to make it happen.
I'm glad I was able to contact you today.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah,
was a
it
lot
actually
of
worked
fun.
out perfect.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks, Jamie.
I'm glad everything worked out perfectly for tonight. And I hope to see you for next Philadelphia sports game next season. Oh, but I'm gonna be going but I'm going to the home run derby